Selling yourself. Speak like Alexander the Great. How do you do that? So a little bit about me so that you know that you're not learning from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. I've spoken on some of the greatest stages in the world. I performed for governors, royalties. I've also spoken for universities. I've been speaking for a very, very long time. Audiences of thousands of people. And so one of the topics that I get asked the most is, how do you do that? And this course is not going to be one of those hacky courses that they will tell you, just imagine people that are naked in the audience. That's not what this is. I'm going to give you practical steps that I have used to be able to command an audience of 1 or 10,000 people, because that is one of the most powerful tools that you can have as a leader. With that said, get started in the next video. I will dive in because I have my notes here. There's some things I want to share with you. It's going to be very impactful. I'm going to keep the video short. And by the end of this, you're going to be talking like Alexander the Great. I'll see you in the next video. Slow down. That's the first thing that you need to understand about speaking like Alexander the Great. Selling yourself, if people don't understand what you are selling, then they're not going to be able to process whether or not they want to buy. Now, of course, this is not just selling in terms of selling a product, but selling your reputation, selling your ideas, selling yourself to your romantic partner. It's the same thing. Selling yourself, you have to be able to slow down. Some of the best orators in the world, Barack Obama, right? Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, they slow down so that each of their words are impactful, like what I'm doing right now. If you speak too fast, then people are not going to be able to understand you and process what you are saying. So I will say that again. If you speak too fast, people are not going to be able to understand and process what you're saying. Everything that you say has to sound profound, because it is. Everything that you say has to seem like it's coming from a deep place, because it is. Remember, you are selling something that is of the utmost importance. If the person that you are talking to does not buy into your idea or your product, then they may lose something huge. And that's what you need to sound like for you to be able to speak like Alexander the Great. So the first thing is to slow down. With that said, there's more in the next video. Promise you. I promised I would keep these videos short, so I'm going to get right to the point. This is going to be very practical, and with each video, you have one thing to work on. The thing to work on in this video is to take your voice from up here and lower your voice down here. This will take some practice. But the best speakers in the world, male or female, have deeper voices. Now, this may seem unnatural when it just starts, but having that depth in your voice to go for when it's needed is one of those tools that separates average speakers from Alexander the Great speakers. So yeah, you may talk up here from normal day to day. That's no problem. In fact, you may even talk up here with your family. That's no problem. But to be able to go back and really dig in to a deeper voice, it may seem unnatural at first. But the best speakers in the world have that bass. They have that deeper voice that they can go for. Listen to the best speakers in the world. Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, Greta Thunberg, even, she's a child, but she does go for a deeper voice than most children because it commands authority. That's why. And if you're going to speak to an audience of 10,000 people, then you must command authority. Just as if you were speaking with one person. How do you practice this? In front of the mirror, practice raising your voice. And then practice lowering your voice for as much as possible until it sounds natural. Like that. And then stay there comfortably. And you can do this practicing slowly. Because the first piece of content, the first video, was to stay slow. Make every word count, lower your voice. Let's build on this in the third video, and you'll see you're going to speak like Alexander the Great by the end of this training. Open your body. Alexander the Great doesn't speak like this when he's talking to a crowd of 10,000 people. No. He speaks like this. Open chest, bravado, big. Think confidence. Now, here's the thing. You can fake confidence because psychology has shown if you do this with your body, you will actually release more hormones that make you more confident. So then just by forcing yourself to open up, you'll become a little bit more confident, whether or not you think that you are confident. Isn't that cool? So then yes, fake it. Open up your body even if it's uncomfortable. Do this right now. Just put your hands out and see the world open. See how big you feel. Make yourself feel as big as possible because that's who you are. Greatness. Alexander the Great did this when he was talking to 10,000 people. And so should you, because you are great. So coupling that, slowing down, lowering your voice, and opening up your body language will do great things. Now, I want you to notice something. My shoulders are not up here, even though I'm opened up. I drop my shoulders down. I want you to do this repetitively in front of the mirror. Practice feeling the tension in your shoulders and dropping them. Feel the tension and let the tension go. Feel it and let it go. This is a profound technique because people will recognize that you are calm and confident, cool, and collected. And they will feed into that energy because remember, you are coming across as an authority figure. Every word that comes out of your mouth is important. And so, as you are talking, as you are making your points, as you are delivering your presentation and your speeches and your ideas to another person, remember that whatever you feel in your body will be conveyed to the next person. And if you feel confident and sure, cool, collected, the other person will resonate with that as well. So open your body, relax, and understand that you're open. Don't point, keep your palms up, and talk like this. We'll get to gestures in a second. Don't get ahead of me. I'll see you in the next video. Remove all filler words like or you know what I mean, or it's like that, or yeah, or Remove all filler words. Allow the silence to speak for you. There is no need to fill those words. In fact, studies have shown that people who use filler words come across as less intelligent, not just less confident. Let the space, silence, fill the room. Make it seem heavy. There is no problem there. There is no need to fill the space. Remember, we slow down. We drop our voice. We open up our body. And we also allow the silence to fill the room. Just like that. We don't need filler words. Don't get nervous. What most people do is that they use filler words because they're unsure of what to say, because they're awkward, because they are nervous that people might think that the space means that they have nothing to say. Not true. The space allows people to process, allows people to catch up. By leaving that space, you become more of an authority figure because you are comfortable with silence. There's more in the next video. Keep watching. This is one of my favorite stories to talk about because storytelling is actually how Alexander the Great is able to command 10,000 of people. If you're talking to one person, then of course you are going to tell this slightly differently because you may not be as animated. But if you're talking to 10,000 people, your story will be grand. It will take up space. It will maybe be a bit longer because you have the attention to capture of so many different people. But storytelling does not change in itself. Here is how you tell a great story. Whether you are on Disney, the biggest movie platform in the world, or you are just writing a 3-paragraph essay or telling a 30-second story, it will all be the same. And here is how you tell a great story. If you remember 2 things, but and because. But signifies that there is something coming that will change. And then because is the explanation as a result of that change, this happened. And great stories are simply a series of but and because. But this happened because. But this happened because. But this happened because. And that's all a great story is. I'm going to give you an example by telling my origin story. There I was, broke in college. I was in a room, but I could not afford it. So then what was I to do? I knew that I wanted to get to financial independence by 30. Because I knew that, I went ahead and contracted with the landlord to get my room rented because I could not afford it. I could make money from my room. That's what I thought. But I didn't know anything about renting. So then I went ahead and learned because I wanted to make money and I needed to afford my room. But I didn't know anything. I rented, I started, I did so well in that room because I was so determined that I started to expand into multiple rooms, multiple houses, multiple states. Then it got so good, we went to international countries. But it all started with 1 bedroom. And that's why I ended up here today. That's the but and because psychology. What your story might do will be slightly different. You don't always need to use the word but and because. But as an ideal is a change. And because is therefore, next, and so on. So because this happened, it's a link to what happened before it. So I needed to is also an alternative to because. Because of that, this was necessary. It was necessary to do this next. It's the same type of idea. But and because. Great movies are built on this very principle. Alice in Wonderland started here, but something happened. Because of that, she had to go there. Great movies, great stories are built on but and because. This is how you sell yourself. Speak like Alexander the Great. There's more. I will see you in the next video for the next secret. Continuing to speak like Alexander the Great. Hyperboles. Alexander the Great was not called Alexander Good or Good Alexander or Alexander kind of okay. No, he was called Alexander the Great for a reason. So then, when you are speaking, you need to use words like the greatest, the best, not one of a kind, but the most unique in the world. That was the funniest thing that ever happened. Not, that was okay, that was funny, that was one of the best times of my life. No, that was the best time of my life. Hyperboles. Everything. When you are trying to land points and make yourself more interesting is a hyperbole. The greatest, the best, the biggest, the oldest, the funniest, the greatest, again, always. I need you to practice this. Take out one of the best or one of the strongest from your vocabulary. Only speak in the extreme. Why? Because no one is attracted to one of the best, one of many. That doesn't get people out of bed. That doesn't attract people. That doesn't excite people. And you want to be exciting because you are trying to sell yourself. I am the best coder I know. I am the most at this. And if you speak of yourself this way, people will believe you, especially if you make it a part of your natural vocabulary. The funniest, the most, always. Hyperboles. Now, understand that you will actually have to deliver on this hyperbole. If it is not remotely funny, then you can't say it is the funniest. If it is not remotely big, then you can't say that it is the biggest. But if it is indeed big, if it is indeed the most beautiful, if it is remotely one of the most beautiful things in the world, don't call it that. Call it the most beautiful I've ever seen. No woman wants to hear, you are one of the most beautiful women in the world. No. Say, look her in the eyes and say, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. That's a hyperbole. No, if she's not beautiful, don't say that. Which is the same thing with everything else. If the building isn't tall, don't say that. It is the tallest in the world. If it is not the greatest that you've ever seen, then don't say that. But if it is one of, don't say one of. Say it is the greatest, the most beautiful, the best you've ever seen. That is how you speak like Alexander the Great, and that is how you inspire people with your language. Let's recap just before we move on to the next video, which is to slow down, use pauses, lower your voice, and also open your body. If you can do those two things, if you can do those few things rather, then you can get into the next video because there's even more that can help you to sell yourself and speak like Alexander the Great. I'll see you over there. Use your hands intentionally. Don't just open your body and just do this with your hands. That doesn't work. If you are landing a point, use your gestures to do so. If you mean something, use your hands intentionally. If you are preparing for a speech, when you're practicing in front of the mirror, understand that you don't just only practice getting the words right. Don't just practice getting the words memorized. Practice which gestures you are going to use where. It should be the same gestures every single time. The same tone every single time. That is how you make a great speech. If you do this, here are some points that you can do that work pretty much all the time. 1, never point. People don't like pointing. Instead, do this. Open up your hand and deliver. You can do this, palm up, no problem. Don't use your palm down, people don't like that. Use your palm up because it gives more trust. If people can see your palm. You can do this, palms up, and you can do palms like this. If you are closing your fist, do it, but open your fist back up. Land your point, open your fist back up. If you are talking about a circle, don't point. Do this. Everybody here, with your hands open. Everybody here. in the past. Instead of pointing, do this. In the past. Keep your hands open. In the past. Instead of this, do this. In the past. As much as possible, keep your hands open because it signals trust, and this should be your default. Now, if you're giving a speech, you can just as easily keep your hands right here. This is no problem, and you can use your hands to signal as much as possible, but you must use your hands intentionally. This lands a point. This, use a gesture. Talk about from here to there, from the past to the future. I hope you're picking up what I'm saying. This is some of the gestures that you can use to make your points come to life. You don't want them to stay dead on the floor, right? You want them to have levels. See what I did there? Levels. Use your hands intentionally to make your points stand out. I want you to notice that I am using the different techniques that we have learned so far in this course, allowing silence to take the room, slowing down, lowering my voice, opening up my body. I am doing all of those things because we are building and starting to sound like Alexander the Great, selling ourselves to make our points really stand out. With that said, there is more in the next video, but I just wanted to highlight here before we move on to the next one that you must use your hands to land your points. You guys got that? All right, with that said, let's move on to the next video, shall we? Frame your ideas from the perspective of the other person. If you use I too much, then it doesn't come across as relatable. However, if I say to you, we are going to grow this company because by the end of this, you will have a better life. You will be able to stay with your family and you'll be able to travel the world and you'll be able to get so much recognition and you'll be a part of making history and your name will be remembered by so many millions of people that come after you. You will be a force to reckon with. And that's why we need to grow this company. That sounds better, doesn't it? Instead, what most leaders try to do is that I want to be successful. I want to make a lot of money. That does not help anybody. That does not inspire anyone. And that's not how you speak like Alexander the Great. Remember, your goal here is to get as much people to buy into your vision as possible. And you must do that by painting the best picture ever. And to do that, you must determine what is it that each individual person wants. Usually, people want status, people want fame, or people want money, or people want time. Status is one of the best things that you can predictably rely on because we are creatures of habit and we want to feel like we are better than the people that are around us. So then, in terms of status, always paint to status. Why should this matter to me? Because it will make you better than the next person. Always a reliable thing to go for. Always a reliable angle to talk about. Why is it that you want to sell yourself and speak like Alexander the Great? Because it will make you get a better job. You'll get revenge on your ex because you'll be able to go and reach heights that nobody else can. You'll be able to talk to thousands of people. You'll be able to prove the haters wrong in high school. You'll be able to tell mom and dad who didn't believe in you that you could make this work, that here, you are actually the best communicator on planet Earth. You are worthy. And that is what it is like to frame why you should listen to this idea in the perspective of the other person. Don't talk about yourself. No one cares about you. People care about them and their own problems. So always frame your ideas from their perspective. Again, notice how we are using the techniques that we've already used so far. Use your gestures, Land your points. Slow down. Allow silence to fill the room. And at the end of it all, you will start to speak like one of the greatest, no, the greatest speaker of all time. Your smile is one of the most important things that you will ever use. In fact, it is the most important tool in your toolbox of body language. Your hands, yes, they are important, but a smile communicates so much more. So then how do you actually do a good smile? Here is how. If you have a smile for everybody, it's not genuine. But here's a shortcut to make your smile the best in the room. Look at someone, make eye contact, and then smile. Because that smile will seem personally just for them. Instead of them seeing you having a smile for everybody, you can see that that wasn't the same. But if you did this, you can see how that's more personal. That smile was just for you. And if you can do that for every person that has eye contact with you, it will seem as if you are connecting with them personally. You want to invite them over? Give them a smile that's just for them. Delay your smile by just 1 second, and it will have a profound impact on how people resonate with you. Now, how do you use this from a stage when you are talking to millions of people? How do you do that? Well, you are talking to the crowd. You are looking over, and then you smile. Don't smile for the entire presentation. That doesn't work. Looking over, make a point, and smile. And then continue with what you are saying. Using your hands, making it profound, allowing the silence to fill the room, opening up your body, lowering your voice, and slowing down. This is how you talk like Alexander the Great. And when you make that smile personable, understand that you're making a genuine smile with your eyes, not just open up and make the smile genuine. So from there, people, we are almost at the end of this training. Right now, you are getting the full scope of what it is like to speak like one of the great, no, the greatest orator that you can possibly be. In just one training, this is what you have accomplished. I'm proud of you. And in the next video, I'm going to wrap all of this up so that you can take this into one tiny package and change your life forever. Believe me, this will never be the same. From here on out, you will sell yourself to anybody and your ideas will be the best in the room always. I'll see you in the next video. Do you think that this video should have a part 2? Because I think so. Because the value of this was so much that I think we should expand on some of these things. I did not want each of these videos to be very long, because I think a lot of courses expand and give examples without getting to the point, and I don't want to waste your time. But if you follow each of these steps, I promise you, your speech will improve just like that. If you practice this for the next 2 months, in month 4 or month 3, you will be such an amazing speaker that people will wonder, where did you train? I cannot wait to see what you do with this course. And I don't want to leave a review right now. I want to leave a review when it actually works. Once you start to implement this, once you become the best speaker in your family, the best that your town has ever seen, that's when I want you to come back and leave a review and say, Kadeem, you helped me to do this. Thank you. 5 stars. Thank you for staying with me. I will see you if you want to connect with me. I am Cade _ on Instagram, Kadeem Rich Journey on YouTube, or you can just Google me, Kadeem Leslie, and I will pop right up. I look forward to connecting with you all. And if you feel like Alexander the Great right now, believe me, I am so happy. I'll see you in the next course. Take care.